Hello, everyone, and welcome to another fantastic episode of Appendix N Cinema. I'm one of two hosts, Thorin Thompson, and with me again is
Clay
Clay
Liford.
Liport. That's right.
With you always is Darth.
So, what are we watching today?
Well, I think it's kind of cool that this be able to dovetail so well into both Halloween and also into our last movie, another film by the same filmmaker, Don Coscarelli. Tonight we have 1979's Phantasm, which
That's
may
right.
on the surface seem like an odd choice for Appendix N Cinema, but honestly, if you really think about it, it's not. DCC has had quite a history of delving into dimensional travel, into mixing in modern elements. There are funnels set on in 80s and 70s Earth, like Beyond the Silver Scream. There's even one of the Gen Con guides one year that has how to make your 70s, early 80s characters. And it also has the coolest car in cinema history in it, the CUDA,
That's right.
uh, which I think
Barracuda.
is honestly think is going to be the closest thing in spirit to a wizard van we'll ever see in media. Um,
Is there a movie with a good wizard van that
I
we
mean,
don't know of?
there's a band in Megaforce, but
Yeah.
it's I don't know about that. But no, the CUDA I think has the spirit.
It,
You'll see so much spirit of DCC in this. Like it is feel, from the monsters, from the pulling, and it itself pulls from certain other you could arguably call them appendix N sources, as we'll point out when they come around. There's a lot of crossover, and this movie's all about crossover. And I don't know, one of the coolest things about DCC as a game for me is the fact that it's not afraid of dimensional travel, crossover, time travel, stuff like that. And I think certain other more bog standard well-known games might be less conducive to that. So
right. That's true. Well, without further ado, I say let's start up the movie here in the cavern of cinema and start discussing how we can draw inspiration for our next DCC planescape style game.
so you count it down, and I can hit play on my end too,
All
because I'm
right.
watching this off a Blu-ray.
3, 2, 1, play.
What's great about this movie, it's no nonsense.
Straight to the point.
Straight up, straight to the title. Ain't screwing around. It's like how Woody Allen does his titles over black, simple. This is like the Woody Allen of horror films. No, not really.
That's a terrible comparison.
Especially these days.
Oops.
Oh, you need a technical issue?
Yeah, I pressed the wrong button. Don't worry. We're back.
I'll let it catch up.
It's still going.
Here we go. And of course, graveyard. You gotta start off with a graveyard.
Yeah. There's some strange activity in this graveyard.
You had to make some adjustments to the scene, did you not?
I did. So there'll be no surprises. This is PG-13 tonight, folks. Unfortunately, let's say.
This is the edited for TV clean flicks.
Now this guy's mustache is definitely you can roll that guy's mustache up in the DCC annual for Appendix M for mustaches.
True. I think that's actually a really cool feature too.
I have yet to utilize that in a game.
I know. I've been wanting to, but I think I've missed too much of a coward.
Maybe that happens to me all the time. A girl just turns into a tall man, and hey, it's always in a graveyard too.
So we got Angus Scrimm, first appearance of Angus Scrimm, the great elder statesman of the horror world, probably along with definitely granddaddy in comparison to like Freddy or Jason or something like that, but he's just a cool character.
It's a hell of a way
And he's,
to
you know, I don't think it's a spoiler that much to say that he may not be of this world. And
if
if we were to set him up,
if you're trying to watch this spoiler free with us, you're gonna have a problem, I think.
if you were to stat him up, but there'd be some interesting. I think you can do some interesting stuff with him, and we'll kind of like start tallying some of his abilities as we continue to watch this.
I'm ready. Yeah, and please, anyone watching, type into the chat if you've got some good ideas for how we might stat up any of the things in the movie here, or something that may inspire you but hasn't inspired us.
We've got all sorts of fun stuff. We've got creatures that look like straight rip-offs of Jawas, which we find out later on how they're made.
These guys are an inspiration for a creature that I've called the Dweller in my next adventure module, actually. And they're a little bit different, but I definitely drew from this movie for those creatures.
Were they have the same origin story of being like people that were smushed down post-mortem and brought back to life?
I don't think you ever find their origin story, but I think you may see, because it concerns other worlds and whatnot, you may see your character's self in that other world, but they're one of those Dweller people instead. So it's kind of the same sort of twist you see in this.
And we got our first vehicle. We've got a motorcycle, which I was thinking about. We were talking before the show about like even modern vehicles have made their way into DCC. You've got like with between like crawling under a broken moon and like vehicular mayhem, things like that. You can put your guys on bikes. You could do you could do Night Riders. That's a movie that we could do, like George Romero's Night Riders.
That would be cool. Yeah.
But yeah, it's nothing's out of place. I don't think nothing's out of place. I could almost see Phantasm being a funnel to get people from like 70s Earth into cross-dimensionally into a more fantasy campaign.
Oh yeah.
You could almost use it as a conduit.
It probably would make a really good funnel.
Yeah. I would fully agree with that. I think it's got, enough. And the weird, because it's like it really kind of bridges the science fiction kind of fantasy angle when it comes to like the adversaries and like the what's happening. It's kind of science fiction in that there are other planets, but there are also kind of other dimensions at the same time. And there's, all sorts of the process of life after death in this movie is somewhat a little bit of hocus pocus and a little bit of weird fluids, Reanimator style. But I don't know, kind of
should we stat up the 70s hair?
Yeah, we can make a.
Does he have like a +1 AC with those locks right there?
No, it's the sun. If he gets hit in the head, you can negate a critical hit.
Yeah,
he'll be hit in the head.
Helms will be sundered.
Helms will be sundered. Yeah. Oh, here comes a great Angus Scrimp moment.
The funeral is about
I think his first line of dialogue, if I remember correctly. It's so scary. Get ready. Sir. What would his persuasion be? Or personality, sorry. Persuasion. What would his personality?
We'd give him full stats? I don't know. I mean,
I don't know. I think he would just have a special power to intimidate.
Yeah.
Through he also should have the power of slightly variable size, because if you watch really closely in the movie, he seems to change height every now and then. Sometimes he looks like he's over well over 6 feet, and sometimes he's kind of running the gamut on it.
You could go with some of the giant stats they have in DCC, and then maybe like half those, just a little bit, because he's
super strong, as you'll see shortly.
Yeah, doesn't he pick up like a whole coffin or something?
Yeah, he picks up the coffin by himself. and the kid witnesses it. So maybe you give him that D24 attack die, which crits on 20 through 24, like a giant has. Maybe that's too much. I don't know.
I'm all about throwing.
You wouldn't expect
bad, heavy baddies at my players and hoping they survive.
You wouldn't expect you get no fight with apparently an old man in an old suit, and then he suddenly whips out on you 24 D24 to hit you and crits you on 20 to 24.
And forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. Lead us not into temptation.
So what would jean jackets? Would that count as leather armor, you think?
Maybe studded at least,
If you got some like
studded if you actually stud them.
Just get the hell out of here.
Like
or maybe you got some kiss pins on your jacket or something.
Yeah. It doesn't have to be like metal.
The Cuda. That may be the first appearance of the Cuda right there.
I think you were a little ahead of us.
No.
I'm looking. Did I miss it?
Yeah, it was tiny on the screen.
Oh, okay.
Kind of in the corner.
My dad's got a Barracuda. Unfortunately, it's been sitting for years upon years. There he is picking up that coffin. But one day, we'll fix it up and I'll drive it into parallel universes.
You're living the plot to Better Off Dead, where John Cusack has a very similar car, like Arrow in the driveway for forever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, basically. I'm just, maybe if I sell enough adventure modules. Ha!
Right. Oh, here it comes. So I have to assume the backstory for this scene coming up is 1979, probably 1978 when they made it. Don Coscarelli, obviously a Dune fan, must be thinking, well, you know what? They're never going to be able to make a movie of Dune. They've been trying. They're never going to make it. I can just straight up put a scene from Dune in my movie that really has nothing to do with anything else in this entire movie. And
I'm a huge Dune fan, so I'll let it slide.
It's funny too, because it's like literally this scene, like this has a weird scene that comes right after it, which kind of makes a half-hearted attempt to tie it to the rest of the movie, and then I just give up after that. But now you've got we're gonna have a mystic type character.
Mm-hmm. Do we? Has there ever been a mystic class, kind of like there was in the rules cyclopedia?
Just thinking about that, and if anybody knows in the chat, I mean, I'm sure there's got to be some. There must have been one through some gong farmers or something. It must have existed at some point.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm wrong.
Oh. Anyone watching? Have you played a mystic in DCC?
Tell her that
Let us know.
And with a weird star tattoo on your cheek.
Yeah.
It's Jody again. I found out that he's leaving.
She's very much like one of the witches in Suspiria. This old lady.
Mm. There it is. Oh, it's beautiful. I'm not sure exactly the year of this vehicle because I'm not that huge in the muscle cars, but it's definitely something.
We can figure it out. Nice shifter on that guy. So I guess I didn't realize until this moment that this movie takes place, or either it takes place or they just got lazy with the plates, but it takes place in Oregon.
Mm.
I also, one cool fun thing about this movie is that this is a very strange set of sequels in the sequel history. The first one was successful enough that the second movie had a much bigger budget, and they tried to Hollywoodize it and give it a bigger cast. So James LaGrosse, who was big at the time, was brought in to replace the essentially no-name kid playing the younger brother. And then after that, they basically said, screw it, and went right back to just casting all the original people again from 3 forward. But like, this weird kind of diversion with 2.
And it's I don't remember. Is it supposed to be the same characters? Is it supposed to be different characters? Okay.
No, it's they just recast. But then they had some of the original players, like Reggie, the ice cream guy. He's in like all of them. And obviously Angus Scrim's in all of them, because you can't out Angus Scrim.
He's a tough little kid. I love him. I'm gonna miss him.
When I'm not on my Barracuda, I'm on my bike.
I think they have that leather jacket.
Grandmother has told you before not to worry. If he does leave, he'll take you with him.
God, I hope she's right.
She
Here it
always
comes.
is.
There's something else.
The best part
I was
also
scared
is
about
the
something that I did.
reaction
I was messing around at
to
the Morningside Cemetery.
the tense
And I saw something.
Dune scene that's about to happen.
Something really
That's where he's
scary.
just like, oh, okay.
You know, Nosferatu can also pick up a coffin like that and just walk like forever.
This is the beginning
house.
also of a trend of you'll see in all the Phantasm movies over the course of the series of using replaying footage as often as they can of previously shown scenes.
Gotta fill in that time slot.
Oh, here comes a special power coming up from the tall man.
Telekinesis.
Yeah.
Well, you know, we
He
got
doesn't
the
have the
mind
point.
games.
Doesn't have the point.
No. So we got super strength. We got telekinesis.
Michael,
We got
he
intimidation
really wants to play a
of
little game.
some regard, or like maybe, you know, anyone that
How'd
comes
you
in
do
contact
that?
with a tall man has
Put your
to
hand in the box.
you know, do a will save or
What's
a
in it?
fear save of some
Just
sort.
put your hand in the black box.
Here it comes.
Okay, but what's in it?
Just stick your hand in the black box. No big deal.
It
Just,
hurts.
Don't
but
fear,
isn't this
Michael.
from another movie? Just stick your hand in the box.
There's no gom
get my
jabber in this scene.
Don't
I feel
fear.
like we're ripping off another movie right now. No, just stick your hand in the box.
Don't fear. It was simply reflection. Fear is the killer. That's what grandmother wants you to learn.
Fear is the
Yeah.
killer, not the mind killer,
Boy, that
just the
really
killer.
hurt.
Right. Fear is the killer.
It was all
Well, she
wrong.
pays the ultimate price for stealing Dune dialogue in the next scene. So
Yeah.
Brad said Dune's lawyers are on the line.
yeah.
Yeah, she
And
emotes
Alejandro
really well
Jodorowsky
for
is,
this movie.
Alejandro Jodorowsky is already condemning the movie as he could have done better.
Where is what's his name? Nope, I've lost it. It's gone. It's
Sorry,
over.
our David Lynch. What are we talking about?
No.
Why are they laughing? What was so funny? Like they just hurt that kid's hand in a box, and they're just like, "What's funny?" I guess it is funny, actually. I take it back. So yeah, this is like their one. I'm assuming. I think this is supposed to be the same girl. And a recheck from Something Wicked This Way comes. That's a good movie too. I need a little Jonathan Pryce in my life. Oh yeah.
Oh. Can't wait for this.
I was looking at the deleted scenes on this disc, and there's at least 3 more scenes of people just jamming on the porch with a stupid hat on. But you know what? It's like this is kind of a nothing scene in that it doesn't really do anything, but it kind of makes the film. It really
Well,
gives.
there is a reason for this scene. At the end of the scene, he's got the tongs or whatever that's called. I forget.
Oh right, yeah.
And that
The tuning fork,
the
yeah.
tuning fork. Thank you. Jeez, tongs. Man.
But I do like the
I'm
idea.
a
I do
musician.
like the idea that they're willing to chill out and just play the most 70s moment.
They you can recover maybe one hit die worth if you have a nice little jam session on your travels.
Yeah, I think that would be good. That's about as close as we ever want to get to a bar.
Early White Stripes really suck.
Yeah.
Oh, see.
There we go. Yes.
Foreshadowing.
So I'm assuming this is just any old tuning fork and not some sort of special item.
Right.
But
Should we stand up the box as a magic item of some sort?
yeah, well, if everybody else is ripping off Dune, why not us? So that is that same girl, right?
Yeah, I think so.
And this is like, okay, and that's the last time it ever comes up. So it was like they made a half-hearted attempt to tie the Dune scene into the rest of the movie. Then they said, you know what, forget it. Also, you're about to hear, if you listen on the soundtrack, if you can hear over us blathering, you get to hear the disco remix of the Phantasm theme in this cantina scene. It's pretty sweet. I have this on my iPod or whatever they call them now.
It's good power walking music.
I actually think I have that on vinyl. I have a special. Yeah, I do have that still. I have a vinyl record of that. I have to
La-dee-da.
dig it up.
Mr. Vinyl over here.
So basically, then the tall man hangs out at singles bars pretty much every night.
You know, I've never thought of it that way.
In the polymorph, so you can polymorph or something of similar ilk.
It's,
Polymorph to tall blonde, and
Medium-sized blonde. She's not that tall.
maybe not.
Not as tall as the tall man gets.
No, he had to squish himself a little
But
bit.
yeah, so watch out which tavern wenches you talk to when you go to the bars, because they might actually be a tall man who's gonna take you to another dimension and turn you into a dwarf.
There's a great moment in this. Yes. Also, you know, he can squish people down. He can squish himself down to her size. He can squish other people down into the Jawa, like the no way like Jawa monsters. So there's a great moment here.
You can't look. You can't copyright every short person in a robe and just say it's a copywritten Jawa. All right. There's a court case about that.
Yeah, I feel like this movie just kind of got off the hook. It was a time, you know, it was before we were so litigious as a society.
I mean, you know, I think films should slow down a little more. You know, everything's jumping back and forth, cutting between scenes. You're like, how do people get there?
Look, he's wearing a lace tunic, so he might as well be wearing a more medieval style garb.
The 70s, we're bringing it back.
Oh, is that in the Fish Monster? Yeah, that's a good one. Saw that at the Draft House and here in Austin on the big screen not too long ago.
Ooh, nice.
So he's like straight up making out with Angus Scrimm's character, and I like how this is like. I like how like this scene comes off about as if somebody who's never made out with somebody, because like watch what happens. The reaction shot is so good when he realizes his brother's watching him. It's the best. Like this is not how making out works or sex. You had to cut out a little bit here, but I don't think you cut out the part that I'm talking about.
No, I did not. But yes, I did a little editing here.
Yeah, there's some necessary editing. I think you got to possibly cut out more than one shot, right? Because isn't there like a naked bottom of a man?
Yeah, I cut that out too.
Yeah,
you're welcome, everybody. All right, it's gotta be fair. It's gotta go both ways.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know if I want to see Angus Scrimm's boobies either, but yeah, this I am a big fan of this reaction shot because it's so like this is not how it works. But okay, so obviously his little minions like to watch him do his business, which is that's a whole nother avenue topic. Why are all his little dudes
That's
like
Jawas?
Why are his Jawas all hanging out while he's getting this done? He's getting his victim.
Wait here, it's my
Seems
little
a
brother.
little bit.
I think he got some
Wait
kind of-
here, it's just
There
my
it is.
little
There's that
brother.
reaction shot. There's that reaction shot right there. Oh. Now my video, you must have cut out more than I thought you cut out because my video just went out of sync.
Yeah, I sped up that scene a little bit, and even then it was still a little long. Like
So
it
you,
was a pretty slow scene. I did a little extra editing.
You need Blockbuster Video now? You know, Blockbuster used to do that without telling people.
I did not know that.
Yeah, they actually got in trouble for it.
Okay, look.
Well,
I
we
was
won't get in
following you
trouble
guys.
for it.
I didn't mean any harm, but I
Now,
thought they were gonna get me.
now it's synced right up again. Man,
What's out there?
that
I don't
tunic
know.
he's wearing.
It was little and brown and low to the ground.
Little and brown and low
Probably
to the
just a
ground.
gopher in heat.
It
That's
wasn't any
that's
gopher.
got to be in the description when we describe these
Where's that
things,
girl
whatever they're
anyway?
called. I wonder what they're called in the
She's waiting
credits.
back there for me, you idiot.
Yeah, I know. We'll have to look. Oh, the scene in the
Hear
pit.
that?
The Pit is an amazing movie.
Yeah, it's
I'm a
all
big
right.
fan of that evil teddy bear in that movie.
You better go get her before it gets her.
You got some kind of an overactive imagination or
Pit
something,
is one of those
man?
a fine tradition of evil kids who are just really just dicks.
You going home.
Sorry.
I'll talk to you when I get back.
You sure you're gonna be okay?
Get out of here.
Wait, how did I get out of sync with you again?
I don't know.
How much editing do you do this movie?
I didn't. I mean, I'm done now.
Okay.
You can't sync up with the video because you'll be behind a little bit. Just
No,
walking through the video.
now I'm ahead of you somehow. It's okay.
It makes sense you would be ahead of me.
They don't need to talk. They don't need to hear about my technical difficulties. All this pause my into yours catches up. I know this movie too well.
Who'd win,
Galaxy.
Galaxy Invader or Zat?
Why am I know Galaxy Invader, but I'm blanking. Was Galaxy Invader from a similarly titled movie or from a movie I'm not thinking of right now?
I don't know. I'm lost on this one too.
I know Zat because I just saw it recently.
Fill us in there, King Kothar. Where does Galaxy Invader come from?
So here's a question. Is what's about to happen in this scene, is this a result of the kid that's freaking out, or is this being planted in his head by the Tom? Or is this just his own
I mean, I would imagine it's being planted in his head.
And there's just regular zombies here too. So I keep forgetting this movie does have a wee bit of regular zombie. The sequels has he has extra helpers, the tall man, who are just like very cadaverous men in suits, kind of similar to himself but less powerful. There's even one dude that's really cool. I can't remember if he's in 3 or maybe it's 2. That has like a gas mask on the whole time, but he's in like in that mortician style suit.
You know,
Yeah.
I forgot to mention that our article for Beastmaster with all of our write-ups for that should be appearing on the Goodman Games website this following week. So be on the lookout for that. We started up a Beastmaster class and some magic items and some monsters, of course. So it should be pretty cool.
Oh, here's a cool thing coming up. Like every good villain, you can't just make them completely bulletproof. You got to get a weird weakness in here. And you're about to see a little fun little, I don't know if you call it a weakness or maybe it's just his can't resist the allure of dry ice. He's like, wait a minute.
I mean, if I were a bad guy and I saw dry ice, I'd be like, this is.
So you
perfect
we have to
opportunity.
use something with the cold. Is he looks like he is actually getting a beneficial thing from that.
Well, you know, probably because I guess, he's supposed to be from another planet, but he's obviously inhabiting some sort of cadaver, right? So if he gets a little bit of rush of cold air,
Well, maybe so though. But if he's just inhabiting a cadaver, I guess how do you why would he have the same cadaver every movie, especially when he gets destroyed multiple times? He has one where he has embalming fluid is shooting at it every
He
One of the-
clones his cadavers.
Cemetery.
You gotta keep multiple clone cadavers on site at all times.
The bar in this movie is also called the Dunes, which I don't think is a reference to Dune, but maybe it is.
Why not?
So we're keeping tabs on things. So what do you think about the Tommy and Cole thing? Is that a beneficial thing? That's something.
What's that now?
Is that a beneficial thing with the cold to the tall man, or is that like
Yeah. So maybe he
Is that you?
in cold environments or deep under the earth and where you might find him in a crypt, he's got he takes less damage, or
Oh,
he's
how about
got more
this?
temporary hit points.
What if he gains back a hit die of hit points and he's in the cold, but he has to do nothing else? He has to sit there and look like he's just like chilling.
Yeah. All right.
He has to do that thing with his hands.
So he's basically one round. If he absorbs the cold enough, he can take some.
Oh, he
points
was
back.
definitely standing there for more than 6 seconds.
Well, let's. I would say if you had a party of 6, I could do a lot of wailing if he had to stand there longer than a round. Yeah, I was thinking that too, Brad. It would he would take some heat damage then, extra damage from heat.
I'm trying to remember if there was anything in through. I know there's a flamethrower in one of the sequels. I can't remember if it's ever used against him.
These weird sounds.
Sure wasn't that
Well, we'll just have to get to the sequels and find out.
Oh, it was the same thing that chased me last night. Well, what are we gonna do?
So it was the little Jawas that made the car fall off the jack, right?
It was, yes. It really. Now, see, this is why bell bottoms need to come back in fashion, because you can hide giant knives at your boots, where nobody will see them. I like how he has that huge poster of
I know, I
the
was
moon
just
landscape.
About that.
I wish I had that.
A subtle nod to the other worlds, maybe. I think are we? No, we're not there yet. Okay, I was trying to remember if we're close to the weird finger monster, but that's later.
The soundtrack's so good.
Oh no, it's freaking awesome. This is the one good thing J.J. Abrams has done, was remastering this movie.
All right, so this is exactly what I would do, if go into the graveyard at night to investigate after having zombie-filled dreams and tall men spooking me. And
If this kid survives the funnel, he will become a thief. He's about to B&E a little bit.
Demon Warp, is that a movie?
Yep, that's with Bruce Campbell.
Oh, I have not seen this.
It's not particularly good.
Dude, I love bad movies. You can't tell me.
They were talking crap about it on the Army of Darkness making of, because apparently he met his wife on that set. He was like a costume designer or something. We were between this and Army of Darkness for tonight's screening.
Yep.
Not that we won't do Army of Darkness later. This felt like we were on a good Don Coscarelli run, so.
Yeah. We need a little more weird.
And if you ever want to pull all the worlds together, you want to get your Don Coscarelli and your Evil Dead together, you would do Bubba Hotep because of the Don Coscarelli directing Bruce Campbell. Petey agrees.
Yes.
Oh, cool. I don't remember enough about that movie.
I'm gonna have to check out
Who
Demon
needs
Warp. I
thieves'
feel
tools?
ashamed that I haven't seen it.
Who needs thieves' tools and you just kick in a window? Oh, I think this is the scene where he gets the finger.
It's got that.
There needs to be a spell. I'll hold it till we get to that section, but there's I think I got an idea for a new spell.
Inspired by this, or
Oh, inspired by something that's coming up. Oh, George, love George Kennedy. Anything with George Kennedy. The movie within the movie in Albert Brooks' Modern Romance, where Albert Brooks plays a he plays a movie editor. He's editing a science fiction George Kennedy movie. In the movie, it's like a fake George Kennedy science fiction movie. It's so good. That movie has the best, like the only I've ever seen in a movie, a Foley joke, a Foley recording joke in it. Cue up Hulk running. Well, what kind of carpet's he running? What's he running on? What's the surface? He's like, I don't know, space carpet. It's so good. So he's hiding in not so much the shadows, but kind of. So this is one of those minions, right? Like, is this like a Renfield type where he's alive, but he's just like kind of like mind controlled? What's this dude's deal, you think?
I mean,
Yeah, I think he dies just like a regular person.
yeah, I was trying to remember what happens to him.
He gets silver balled.
Silver balled. Yeah,
He's our first kind of like intro to the silver balls.
Yeah, he's probably just he's under the tall man's influence, obviously.
So we've got all sorts of mental shenanigans from the tall man.
I mean, I would think if I was going to use the tall man in a DCC thing, it might be a thing where like the whole town, you don't know who to trust in the town, is someone under the influence, is not.
Who's he gotten to? Yeah, because he can kind of like he doesn't have to just do one at a time. Mm-hmm. Once he has you as a thrall, you remain that way until he chooses to release you or not. I still like the logic of how they get their Space Dwarf slaves that they send back to their other dimension / planet involves like it's such a weird convoluted process. I kind of love it.
Obviously, so a game designer wrote it then.
They kill you, bury you, dig you back up, somehow shrink you down, reanimate you, and then send you through the dimensional rift.
Aren't those barrels part of it too?
Well, the barrels are just in the room.
I thought the guys were in the barrels. Maybe I'm
you're right. Yeah, they shove them in the barrels to put him in the. Yeah, they shove them in the barrels.
Maybe I was mixing Return of the Living Dead there for some reason.
Oh, right. Little trioxin barrel. Yeah.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah. There's no statting up Phantasm without statting up the balls.
Oh, yeah. Got to. They could be deadly. Maybe the ball crits on a 15 to 20 because it's so deadly.
And maybe it's a certain thing where if it hits you and you don't make a reflex save, and you have maybe like in the first round you get to make a reflex save, in the second round you get to make a final reflex save, but if you don't make that second one, then it's like insta death because it drills into your head or something.
Yeah, so you could take damage on the first round if you don't make your reflex save or push it off. Or it should be a reflex save and then a strength check to like get it off you, right?
Yeah.
And then if you don't make that, then it's like
himself too. I was like, wait, is that his blood? Nope, that's Pete. The balls, the movement rate of the ball is gonna be pretty high. It's probably like what, like something like
60
50 or
around.
60 feet around.
I would say so.
Tall man, not so much. This chase is pretty funny. Crud cutter.
Crud Cutter is some good stuff, though. We should get a sponsorship.
Why is he walking to him?
Maybe he was kind of
yeah.
trying
the
to.
junction.
Yeah.
I guess he is pretty fast for an old dude. Like here comes the finger. He's like, I made it away.
He bleeds yellow. Or I
Little
guess
help.
that's supposed to be embalming fluid.
Yeah. Does he have like 3 screams in one?
What? 3 screams in one?
Because it was like looped in a weird way, where it was like all these different screams on top of themselves to make the tall man scream. Oh, here we got a little not Jawa.
King Kothar's got an idea for the silver ball.
So D20 roll modified by luck. So I guess the player's luck then in that case, obviously, because the creature wouldn't have luck. Yeah, I could do it.
Well, would there be like a little table then, or something?
Well, I think like the ball has like basically either it does damage to you or it kills you. I don't think it's basically going for the head. So either it gets there or it don't. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know.
Yeah.
But now we get the result. Now this is a spell there's the spell I had the idea for coming up was polymorph random body part maybe, or some sort of version of or it's a combination of so is there any type of spell that exists that if you like had part of your body severed that you could still control that severed body part? That sounds like
now we're talking idle hands.
Or pretend you didn't bring that movie up. But yeah, so this is like a controlled reanimation of a body part, which becomes a polymorph of that same body part scene. That is so gross.
Jesus. What's going on up there?
The old finger in a box
tell you.
gag.
I was spying on Tommy's funeral from the groves with your binoculars.
Well, the
And
thing
after
that
everybody left, that tall man
finger
picked up
turns
Tommy's
into.
coffin all by himself and put it in the hearse and drove off.
You're crazy.
I'm going to be honest, I don't remember.
Over 500 pounds.
Oh, it turns into a really cheap Halloween prop.
Mm.
I can't figure this thing out.
Animated appendages, yeah,
I do
that's
know
pretty
one
cool.
thing, something weird is going on up there.
I just like the idea of like, oh, for hell, man, I've got my arm severed, but might as well make the best of it, and it just keeps on going.
Nacho cheese finger. Oh, also, this is a Roger Zelensky. No, that's not his last name. So,
What are you talking?
The book on his table is
Oh.
an Appendix N book.
You can
Roger
read
Zelensky.
Zelensky?
Thank you.
I can't even. I'm looking at the Blu-ray and I can't even see that. Oh, now I see it.
I had to zoom in.
There it is. That looked like you got it with your McDonald's Happy Meal. Oh yeah. Right-handed doom. Or you can also there was that Michael Caine movie, The Hand, as well. But that is cool. I have that Robert E. Howard one. That's awesome.
The right
He's
hand.
really selling that acting there. It's just like just smash yourself into the wall a few times.
Yeah.
Garbage disposal.
This is the
Come on.
pre-Bruce Campbell
Right.
School of Acting. Oof.
So that thing is like a flying spider
So yeah, so
with big old teeth.
take some appendages and put them in a box full of nacho cheese and insta bug.
So this bug is immune to blunt weapons, it seems like, or takes at least only half damage from blunt weapons. But you can still kill it with the garbage disposal. That was my best jean jacket. Demon fly, yeah, it's a sturge.
I just thought I'd come over and see what was going on.
And it had that blender there the whole time. It didn't even get to use it.
You want to ride along with me today? It's pretty warm outside, and the ice cream's going to be flying fast and furious. Remember how good you were at crowd control last time?
You think there's any power in his little ponytail?
Oh, most definitely. He wouldn't wear it otherwise.
Oh, it's not done. You see, I guess it wasn't strong enough. The garbage disposal.
There's definitely a supernatural element to this bug.
What the hell is going on? Here, you keep that. Now remember, you don't aim a gun at a man unless you intend to shoot him.
That's a good line,
You
Reese.
don't shoot a man unless you intend to kill him.
I can
No
hear the
warning
truth just
shots.
slightly behind.
You listening to me? No warning.
Yeah, it's like a
shots.
few
Warning
frames.
shots are bullshit. You shoot to kill, or you don't shoot at all. Now you'll be safe here. Just lock all the doors and windows.
Warning shots are bullshit.
And don't follow me.
He said it
Be
first.
okay with that?
I'm just gonna go up there and take a look around. Nobody's gonna see.
Yeah, you know, I didn't
But heck,
think to
Called down
check
the issue,
the
put 'em in.
language when I was editing. That's a little harder.
Yeah.
Not as visual.
Remember that broken basement window around
It's all right.
outside.
We're talking over it the whole time.
And be careful.
Just gonna take a look around is how most adventures start. That's right. Let's go
Yeah, exactly.
investigate.
I'm telling you, this really would make a good funnel.
Somebody write it, because I ain't got time for it.
I'm trying to remember. No, let's wait till it gets there in the movie. I'm trying to remember if the house itself is like a.
I
Is
think
like
it
a,
disappears.
yeah, I didn't know if it was like a ship or like. I feel like there's so many movies where the house is the ship, you know, like for the Rocky Horror Picture Show, or even like, what was that Peter Jackson movie Bad Taste? Does the same thing where the house is like the ship.
I've only seen that one once.
And Dolomite stat block. Yeah, are there any Rudy Ray Moore movies that would be good for Appendix N Cinema? Man, it would be amazing. I want an alternate universe where Rudy Ray Moore was like in a sword and sandal flick.
That'd be pretty cool. Alright, back into the cellar.
So we're keeping tabs on all the powers we're assigning to these bozos, right?
That's your job.
My job now. All right. Make a little running list.
Got super strength, telekinesis,
Polymorph to specifically to blonde lady.
Yeah. Maybe it just happens to be. Maybe it could be anything, but it just happens to be that these two characters were both just attracted to blonde women. So that's what.
But I feel like she was waiting there in the bar for any old person to come around.
That's true.
Oh, levitating Jawa, is that what that is? Why is it just, or it's standing on a box?
He's standing on a coffin. You can see it.
Oh. Two tough little guys.
Say goodbye to your eardrums. That like that's a. I'm surprised he didn't fumble on that one.
Yeah.
He would have to roll it like a D14 if he's gonna try to shoot like this.
I almost feel like the audacity of doing something that ridiculously stupid all should give you a better die.
Yeah. Well, that's what luck's for.
True. So they are not impervious to being shot in the head.
He might have just nicked him. Now we're just watching. We're not even commenting.
No, I was trying to think my.
All right, who's in there?
Is anyone driving the car?
Mike?
I think we're coming up on the.
Get in.
I think we are coming up on the cool chase scene, the motor vehicular chase scene.
Mm-hmm.
Here it comes.
There's nobody driving that mother.
There's nobody driving that mother.
Thompson in the back seat.
Now I'm perfectly synced up with it.
I think, you know, like how in Lankamar, you can get fleeting luck if you rift off one another, like Liford and the Grey Mouse would do. I think you need to do some 70s
What
talk.
soul venison do they have in Linkmore?
No, not the soul venison. Just rifting off one another, like commenting the way the duo would. So
Right.
like in this, you would, if you talk all 70s like, and say jive turkey, this mother over here, you know, then you get the riff. If you rift off one another well enough, you get a fleeting luck.
Put a few in the engine.
But I think that's actually what that. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it's what the sports world venison is meant to. Meant to replicate or to.
It's definitely a separate
Stimulate.
thing in the book. Two separate written things. This is where they find out who the dwarf thing is, right? I think.
So, Buddha needs stats of some sort. Our tall man. We got a pretty good look on what we think we're doing there. We got our
I do like that he gets a D24 action.
Yeah, I like that too. It's unexpected.
Yeah. All of a sudden, he's tossing your PC across the room, and you're like, whoa.
It's one of those dwarves.
Oh, actually, you know what? If we count the sequels, I do know that the tall man can turn into other people, but not just the blonde.
I mean, we can count the sequel, or, you know,
should.
we
Great.
can just update it later on.
Oh.
Thanks for those flashbacks.
That's the one that was his buddy. That's his buddy, Tommy.
Reggie.
I like how they have to remind you, though.
Yeah. Well, you see
got
him
one
for
of
like 2 seconds.
But you'll never forget that mustache, though.
Oh, and
Never will.
Colton in the Groves. All right.
I miss
Oh,
phone
Reg?
booths.
Do you?
Bring your
Not
truck.
really. So we got the balls. We're gonna do the balls. We kind of started doing the balls. We got the
Say
Kuda,
balls one more time.
Kawa, balls, the finger insect.
I just like, I feel like that is maybe just the just writing up a spell for that or something that can be used. I like your idea on that.
Do you see though the tall man is a spellcaster or more like a psionical kind of dude?
Maybe
don't
it's
see
one of
him
those
doing
things where like the
hocus
creature
pocus.
has a harmful spell attack and it doesn't really roll, but it can do it so many times, or maybe it correlates to his hit die count, like Dragon's Breath or something.
I feel like psionic is a pretty good idea, but it could also use the flavor is psionic, and it's just that you still
Right.
use the magic rules. I mean, I feel like I lean so heavily on that mind games supplement already. I'm not sure if everybody.
Brad's
has.
right. We could stat him up, kind of like a lich.
Yeah, that might be cool. Use that as a base and kind of break off from there.
Yeah.
There was a pretty cool. There was in one of the books. I think it was one of the not the annuals, the Gen Con books. Wasn't there a specifically a Purple Planet Lich? It was pretty cool.
Astral Psychic Wizard.
The Last Scion. That's pretty neat. Yeah.
I like that.
Doesn't need no stinking spell components.
What about Mom and Dad? They're up there too.
I like Psychic Wizard.
Yeah. Just forget about that.
Veteran of the Psychic War.
Okay. I see it all now.
Many losses in
What
the
we gotta
Psychic
do
War.
is we gotta snag that tall dude and stomp the shit out of him. And
Maybe
we'll find out what the hell is going on.
maybe we should stat up Reggie. Is that
Lay
his
that
name?
sucker out flat and drive a stake right through his
As
goddamn
a
heart.
Yeah, go ahead. What were you gonna say?
Shitting me, man.
Just
That
ice
mother's
cream
strong.
man character class.
That would I feel like he's a 0 level. He's a background as Ice Cream Man. Then he's going as he gets into the sequel, as he starts making his own weapons in the sequel.
Yeah. That 4-barrel shotgun. That's why we gotta watch the sequel.
A modified fighter of some sort, like maybe he's something akin to like a gunslinger from Dark Trails or something akin to that.
Mhm.
Sally, did you see these new settings?
Diamond Dave Ice Cream Warrior, nice.
These are nice.
And in the fine Phantasm tradition of like randomly bringing people in pretty late in the game just to be strange side characters. We've got this sequence.
Gotta fill it in.
Sleepy. I've got a bed made up.
I mean, it's like any game session. You know, you'll have that one NPC, and they'll never see it again.
Well, it's never the NPC that you think that your well planned NPC the PCs ignore, but the ones like the random patrons in the shop, like, hey, let's go talk to them for a while. What are your names, random people? And you're like, look at the chart real quick. But it's Stacy.
That's why I have my 1,000 baby names book. Just flip that open.
Oh yeah, so the tall man is very ancient, as we'll find out.
Yes.
But it's the same body. He really is married to that Angus Scrim body. So,
Hey, wouldn't you?
I mean, yeah,
A good body is hard to find.
that Clint Howard movie is pretty dope. Animate still photograph. That's a level 1 spell. Give the stink eye via photograph. If you can save a stink eye and give it to somebody many years later via a trans-dimensional photograph.
Take me home.
I would love to be able to
You
do
must
that.
take me home.
And maybe
there's a lot of people I know that need a stink eye.
And maybe when that happens, you lose something. Maybe you're a -2 to your next roll or something like that. It just kind of throws you off your game.
Don't penalize me for stink eyeing people.
Not you, ding dong. The person that sees it. The person that gets.
Oh, the
stink-eyed.
person that sees it. Okay, all right, fine. I'll accept it.
That's the thing. It's you have to wait a long time for the payoff. It could be centuries, but when you get it, I think -2 for 1 round is.
Isn't there a stink eye or something in the Shutter Mountains?
I think you might be right.
I think there is kind of an evil, gives them the evil eye.
Yeah, it's your traditional evil eye. Now those Jawas were clearly they didn't bother using the actual Jawa-sized Jawas. They just threw whoever they had on set into his robes. Arms were way too long.
Oh my God, on, pull over.
TV stink eye, totally.
TV stink.
Stay in the car and don't get out. I'll be right back.
Not the ice cream truck.
Wait a minute.
Is there a spell? Is there also a spell the tall man has that's like make all extras disappear from all scenes, so your town appears to be abandoned at all points?
Sure.
Suppress locals.
Suppress. A lot of the locals are already suppressed, I think.
But that's the one like really consistent thing about it's really cool about these series, the weird feeling of dread that there's just no one around at any given time where there would normally be people around, or you at least feel some degree of life. And it's like it totally like this void almost. It's kind of neat. Really wants that drumstick.
You know, all the ice cream trucks around my town don't look nearly as nice as his. They look pretty sketchy, actually.
That's not custard, dude. Don't eat that. Save on budget for extras. Somebody pointed out that if you are a fan of the Masters of the Universe movie, that they forgot to hire extras for that movie. There's these big, like, supposed crowd scenes outside in the third act of that movie, where it's these big fights outdoors and there's no one. But it's like
and they just legit forgot.
Yeah, somebody who worked on the movie pointed that out on the internet. I think it was Josh Olson, the screenwriter. It's like his first Hollywood job, and he had mentioned, I think it was on Trailers from Hell that he had mentioned that. Get that thing out of here. You're only doing subdual damage to it, man.
When I see scenes like this and the actors are just being tousled around and stuff, it makes me want to act. It's like, oh, you could tousle me around in a scene. I'll enjoy it.
Oh, yeah, at the back of a car window.
Yeah, let's do it. Maybe I should be a stunt guy. Throw me through any window.
There's a weird thing too with these movies that never kind of gelled right. Like, and it kind of doesn't bother me though. It's that like, so we don't know. Well, wait to the end. I keep getting ahead of myself.
Hey,
About this, the character of his brother, what his status is. In this movie and all of them, even within this movie and within the future movies. Gwildor does suck, but I kind of do have a soft spot for that movie otherwise. I mean, Frank Langella is clearly having a good time. I do like any movie with Meg Foster in it. As Evil Lynn with her weird, transparent, see-through eyes.
Morningside.
You know, maybe they were trying to do a little Dune-ish where they could see the future a little bit, you know, like with that scene where the brother was kind of like just staring off, like almost he was like seeing it happen and whatnot. Maybe they were trying to throw in a little tie there.
A more copyright-free tie-in.
Well, of course, you can't follow the golden path to Arrakis.
Oh, man. I'm old enough to have lived in a house of shag carpeting.
Well, I never had the pleasure.
Oh, this is cool. You get the improvised explosives coming up.
Oh,
which
yeah.
Something that should definitely be in DCC.
Well, it depends on if you have gunpowder in your game.
Even if you don't, though, it could fall through a dimensional wormhole or something and just land on your pants. Popcorn. See, I'm in a room with popcorn ceilings right now.
There's that Appendix N book. I don't know what it is though. I'll have to.
Yeah, I'm trying to see if I can get it better. It says my name is something.
My name is something.
It's with an L. My name is Legion. My name is Legion.
Ah, all right. There we go. Has anybody read that book? because
Thank you, Blu-ray.
I have not read that book.
I have not read that book either.
I need to read the Amber series.
What is up with that weird rubber band holder? That looks like it looks like one of those Simon like games.
I think. Oh yeah.
So yeah, he's forming the idea. He's got to get the bullet. He's got the tack. That's all he needs. That and the hammer.
Would this actually? I guess this would actually work, wouldn't it?
Let's go find out. I'm gonna go dig around and see if I can find the bullet. Man, I got a hammer and I got a tack.
I want to think it would actually work.
Quano brains. He's like, yeah, made it. I mean, why is that what the hammer does on a gun, right? It just hits the back of the thing.
Yeah,
right?
But that I guess you could hit it hard enough.
Oh, and he tapes it instead of hitting it, he tapes it to the hammer.
Yeah.
Okay, that's right.
Yeah. Because otherwise, you gotta hold it and it's like blow your hand off.
The smoke is like nowhere near the door. So when you I don't know why this made me think of this. I was thinking of him driving and like whenever you do stuff like if somebody's doing like riding a horse and they're making a horse do like crazy stunts, is that like an agility check or is that like a personality check to control the horse?
We talked about this on the last one too.
Oh, we did? I couldn't remember if we just talked, because I know we talked about it in our game. Where are my fingers? Oh, back. Kidding. I like how he psyched him out. He's just like, no, I got him back. No big deal. No, but I couldn't remember because I always thought it was kind of an interesting, not a dilemma, but like, I think you can almost see it both ways. It's like, is it your personality using that so that some other type of animal handling skill that you may have from your background to help you, know how to manipulate the horse, or is it just your agility?
I don't know, man. I mean, maybe.
And how would that translate to the CUDA? No, I was kidding.
Well, the CUDA, you definitely got to sweet talk. You got to sweet talk that girl into going fast and hard and right down the highway. I guess, as a judge, I maybe, it depends on the situation, but what they're trying to do, but, maybe it's one of those things where either or, you let the player pick,
Well, let them make the argument. Make them make the argument.
Sure.
Wait, had he been hanging out with that gun the whole time? He didn't use that to get rid of the door in his room?
Wait, where did he get that gun? Did he pick it up on his way out?
When he was being manhandled?
Right before he got manhandled.
Maybe. I guess I was too busy asking about horses.
There it goes.
So he doesn't get that jacked up by fire because he's driving that car and he's still fine afterwards. So.
Well, that's because he did an astral step right before it blew up.
You almost said Misty Step, didn't you?
No.
It's okay. I've fallen back on old habits and accidentally made 5e references before.
Never in my life.
I had to get in a 12-step program on that one. There's a significant amount of acting in this movie where they have to act like things that are not heavy or heavy, because it's like with the pulling that door off, with the coffin when the regular people were carrying the coffin when it was obviously not a real coffin. And why is he like? What is? He's afraid to look.
Yeah, I don't remember what he just said there.
He has to be in there.
No. Yeah, I guess he's afraid.
But it looked like more like he was like having a
So here's
epiphany.
the sphere itself has
Ball vision, ball
infravision.
cam. Yeah, that's true. Ball has like, but like straight up like improved like Predator version of infravision. Yeah.
You can't hide from it in the dark, basically, and maybe you can't even hide from it while invisible. Like you can't hide from this ball at all. You gotta run or you gotta fight it. Gotta
I
outmaneuver.
do think, I don't know if anybody remembers. I feel like we find out in a sequel, in one of the sequels, that those balls are semi-organic. Like they're not just like robot balls. They have some sort of organic.
See, we're gonna have to update it as we go along.
Oh my god.
Now there's a lucky shot.
Filled with purple, purple dust, purple glitter.
I opened up his...
Orgue.
I'd fill it with glue.
There's this door down here. And I'll bet there's something behind it.
Yeah, they do start doing like the really fun improvised weapons things in the future ones. They have like they the double barreled shot, or not the double barrel, like the two shotgun, or the quad barrel shotgun. Yeah, and like the flamethrower, the weird flamethrower, and like this almost. I'm just gonna go on a limb here and say this. I feel like this could almost be a Goodman licensed property where you has its own source book, like literally like a Phantasm, like it's Dying Earth, or like it's Empire of the East, whatever.
Right, you heard it first, folks.
I really do feel like it would be a great and Don Coscarelli, I think, owns the rights. I bet he would do it.
Hey, let's get in contact with him. I know you can do it.
I do. I am 2 degrees of separation.
There you go. And therefore I am 3, and therefore Joseph is 4. So there we go. Done.
But I really do feel like I'm not like kidding around. I think this would be a really awesome, because especially when you see how they expand the mythology over the films and like, yeah, I just think why I don't know. It's like I'm not a big fan of licensed product games, but I would say I make the exception for Goodman because they always just pick the best stuff. When they pick stuff that's like not obvious and stuff that just like makes sense. I don't know. There aren't a lot of movies that make sense. Like you wouldn't want a normal sword and sorcery movie, I think, because it'd just be a little too.
Yeah, like a Beastmaster license would be pretty dull, but like something like this, where it's a little more gonzo, a little more sci-fi.
Is there a Coscarelli verse though? I wonder if Beastmaster takes place in the same like universe as Phantasm.
And John dies at the end.
And Boba Hotep.
Yeah, they're all there, man.
And Kenny and Company, his first movie.
I love white rooms in movies.
Aren't
like
these
weird white rooms?
These crates look just like the generic landing bay crates you always saw on TNG. This is a different color. Like the ones that always like warp, like always fall on warp at some given episode and get knocked out. Here we go. So we got our trans-dimensional portal.
So also, okay, here's another thing I totally forgot about. But in Sky of Crimson Flame, this was an inspiration for the Soul Chamber room in that adventure where the Necromancer went to other worlds, and if your players, use it, it might not pan so well for them.
I like this VHS warp talk that's happening on the chat. So I like that you have to kind of fall through eternity to get to...
well, he's holding it.
By the, yeah.
God, I just grabbed him there.
And the world they go to is very like William Hope Hodgson end of the world, like the Nightlands, or even the place that he goes to in the dream of entering House of the Borderlands.
Mm.
You're gonna get that vibe to it, like the reds. I half expect to see a black sun hanging in that red sky. Yeah, yeah.
B movie ride. I like that. Oh.
Okay, stay together.
Wait a sec, I think I got a lighter.
Quick, light it up.
Oh.
Quick, light it up.
How'd they kill the power, man? They're animals.
Over here, follow me.
Nightland's amazing. I just reread that.
Jody, where are you?
I actually just plugged a major hole in my nerd cred bibliography. I suppose I just finally read a bunch of oh my god, really? I started to tell the story and I'm like, what's the complete for his name? The Great God Pan, Matt Macon. Arthur Macon. Macon, is that how you say it? I just finally read like his collected book of most of his stuff. I loved Great God Pan. Not to go completely off topic, but how has that never been made into something? Or am I missing a really obvious thing that was adapted to? Hey, look, you got some love for Crimson Flame.
Yeah, I see that. Thank you. There were a couple of signed copies that were sent to Goodman in my last batch.
There's one that's been floating around eBay for a while. It's like really expensive.
Yeah, they're trying to sell it for like $45. Don't buy it.
Didn't I officially get your last copy?
You got my very last copy that of the first printing that I am selling. Yes. So
Cool.
a second printing will be coming one day.
I like all the powers that the tall man has. I'm just gonna use that dagger. I'm gonna use it in the blonde form. So I like the idea that you're in the presence of this portal under certain conditions. It just starts like it's not just like a choice to go in. You have to like not get sucked in.
I guess the barrels are empty at this point, which is why they're lighter than he is, or
I don't know. It might be like that stupid barrel scene in the Hobbit movie where all the like the weird crap that they're.
Let's not talk about the physics in that movie. Well,
Let's
just not talk about
it. That movie's terrible. Those movies are terrible.
Let's not talk about it. It hurts.
So basically, I think I remember now. Like, the house basically gets sucked into the portal, right?
I don't remember.
I think it basically, they didn't have like the effects to actually show it like get sucked into itself. I kind of get the impression that it kind of like basically, imploded into the.
We're gonna have to start doing double features with these series, so we can get through them.
We're gonna do highlights of
Quadruple.
Maybe we can cut a super cut of all the Phantasm sequels.
Why do that when we can watch them?
You just don't want to do the work.
Yeah, you're right.
And this is another weird thing where it's okay. So this is where we get the reality bending. So Reggie gets stabbed, and then, well, it's coming up. So we assume he's dead. We don't know exactly the fate of, is it Michael, the older brother? But then we get this weird kind of like, was it all a dream thing coming up here?
Yeah.
Which is very much not, though. It's kind of weird because it's not like the Nightmare on Elm Street. This is definitely a stupid dream sequential tag for a new movie. What they do at the end of this movie carries through to the sequels. So it's not like a fun little tag. It's not like a weird little dream sequence. It's just like a weird reset of reality. A raspberry toppings. Yeah. unless he's standing on an apple box there.
He's a tall man.
But his ankles were pretty much visible in that shot.
He's dead.
Yep, there goes.
So I kind of feel like it just like maybe got sucked into its own portal, but that was the best they could do for the effect.
There's an old mine.
Well, I'm sold.
I mean, I'll buy it.
Just
fine.
Don't take much from me.
1,000 feet straight down.
Yeah, the code of this movie is so bizarre. Yeah, the Rocky Horror Picture, that's like the classic, like the house is actually a spaceship. And just like I think that was bad taste that the house was also the spaceship.
Because we're gonna run that.
I think there are a couple other movies where the house was also a spaceship. I'm blanking on what some of the other ones are.
I'm gonna haul ass over there and
yeah,
get rid of that warning barrier around the mine.
I wonder if it's going to IMDb and say movies where the house is the spaceship.
Lock up the house good, man, and stay in there.
Somebody probably made a listicle. And he never comes back, right? This is where I get confused. This is where I forget, actually, I should say.
I have definitely forgotten what happens.
I know, well, we'll see.
Don't spoil it.
I thought he was outside for a second. It was just that giant potted plant. Yeah, maybe they are all inside the portal. Maybe they got moved through time and space. And it's like, hey, I didn't buy all these candy glass windows for nothing. We got to break as many of them as we can in this movie.
I tried to make a candy glass car window for a little movie I did, and it did not turn out well.
We were really protective of our candy glass beer bottles on my Lost movie because we did not have near enough of them. We didn't know how bad our actors were at throwing them. So it was like, basically, we're like, all right, you got 2 more takes of this. It's like, please hit the mark.
We should riff on our movies. Mine's a little Call of Cthulhu-ish, I suppose, if you want to put it in a system. It's not good either, but
I'm not sure if that's a prerequisite.
Definitely not.
Is that a suggestion that we do Coneheads on the show? Or is that just reference to something I just... Oh, the house is a spaceship in Coneheads.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, duh.
Yeah, let's not do Coneheads. You stat up your own Coneheads. We're not going to do it.
You play a good game.
I like that actress who played the daughter of Coneheads. She was also in Dazed and Confused.
Now you die.
So I like to do this in my games where, like, I had a whole session one time where the characters went into a cabin and they fell asleep and they thought they woke up and went to the town and all this stuff was happening, but it ended up like when they died they actually woke up and realized this entity was in this cabin they were staying at, sucking their life force out.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
I like stuff like that and using, you know, like just thinking about this as being some weird dream scene or something like that. I like to do that in my games.
You missed another spell. It's a summon gravestone. Made those gravestones pop straight out of the ground and create quicksand pit.
Well, you can do those things when you're a tall man.
Yeah, as I put him under his power, I jotted down some notes. Summon gravestone. And if you roll really high on your summon gravestone, it eerily puts your name on the gravestone.
Or your victim's name, because you're trying to freak out somebody, right?
Well, no, I'm saying your name being the person who sees it. Yeah.
Oh,
your victim. So then they have -2 on their next check. That's my answer to everything.
Well, or you know, maybe they need a will save, and they, you know, if they fail it, then they get a minus on the dice chain because they're so freaked out. They've seen their own death stone.
If you fumble, get a crit on On top, he's like that in that first thing, a creep show, the Father's Day one, where it's like when Ed Harris falls in the empty thing, and that every time he moves, the tombstone starts to like get closer to falling on him. Another great movie. Yeah, that was a good Swish scene in that one. The young Ed Harris. Summon Raiders of the Lost Ark folder.
You can't just summon everything you want, okay?
I've gotten like 5 spells written down as summon and then fill in the blank.
I refuse to work on this.
Summon severe backlighting.
Was that all a dream?
So okay, so if I get this correct, in the new reality here, it wasn't Tommy that was dead. It was actually Michael, the brother, that was dead.
Hey, you had a dream.
Tommy? You mean
Just
Richie?
a nightmare.
No, Tommy, the guy who's dead at the beginning of this movie.
You've hardly slept since
Oh, yeah.
I think they basically somehow swapped places with. I don't know. Maybe I'm just overthinking it.
Took Mom and Dad.
Um,
And you took Jody.
but this is kind of the
After me.
the new reality that we sort of pick up on the sequels from. But then later on in later sequels, I don't think it's in 2 or 3, but I think after that, then the older brother comes back again. But I think he is kind of like a Force ghost at that point, if I remember correctly. I might just be making that part. I know he comes back. I can't remember if he's like some sort of weird like phantasm.
I'm definitely going to rewatch all these.
If I can't apply logic to my own life, I might as well just do it to Phantasm. They can get that kid to give the 1 tear, because they did another scene too. They probably put the Visine in there right before the shot.
Probably. Rub an onion in his eye. Here, kid.
You ever
Welcome
had,
to Hollywood.
When you were on set, you ever had those crystals? Have you got to play those crystals that you blow in your eye to make you cry?
No.
Yeah, I got to play with those on a few films where they literally, it's like a little, like, it looks like one of those little things that, you know, those things you, what the hell? The thing you smell, the smelling salts.
Oh, yeah.
But it's like it's like this little thing, you break the top off the capsule, and then you like literally on the other end, you punch this other hole and you just blow it into somebody's eye. Yeah, it's
Why don't you and me hit the road for a couple of weeks?
yeah, we should do The Room on this.
You know, I have seen that movie literally like 15 times because I've shown it to people. I've gone to the theaters.
I've seen it. I saw it with Tommy Wiseau at the Lemley Theater where it's been playing, and the original theater it played at in LA. I skipped out on a friend's at the reception party after a wedding to go see that. Not proud of it.
That's amazing. I met Greg Cesaro at a HorrorCon. He's a really cool dude. It was his first HorrorCon. He was like,
Did you read his book?
No, I haven't. I haven't read it yet. I did buy his movie Best Friends, and he signed it for me. So.
I have not. Cool. That I have not seen.
No, I haven't seen it. I haven't watched it yet, but I want to.
Where did that poodle come from? Now, I don't know mostly where the poodle is from. It looks like he's hanging on the wall. And summon weird ape arm.
No, we're not gonna summon everything. I refuse. So,
this movie is not afraid of the last second to introduce a new creature we haven't even seen before at all. And just the arm thereof.
So I want to know what they call the little dwarf. They're probably just called dwarves.
Oh yeah, we're gonna see.
Space
Well, maybe.
dwarves.
I hope they do a better job than they did on Beastmaster, or they're just like they got real lazy.
Winged creature.
Yeah, or what are they? There are a couple really dumb ones in there. I just hope they get a little bit more inventive.
We're about to find out.
They should have in here a person who is definitely not the Reverend Mother administering the box test. That's what it should be called. Steven Tyler. Did they say Steven S. Tyler or is it Tyler?
Suburban Sasquatch. Have you seen Bigfoot's Wild Weekend? You can watch that on Amazon.
I did work on a movie called Kung Fu Teenage Bigfoot once. which is a real thing.
I wrote it down. Suburban Sasquatch. You can't read that, but that's what
Suburban
it says.
Sasquatch. That's awesome. I've heard of that. I've not seen that. Michael Gross from the sound recordist is the Michael Gross from Tremors and Family Ties.
Could be. What's IMDb trivia say?
Oh man.
Hey, you sold me.
That's amazing. Sitting here at midnight. That's that song they were playing on the porch. So where are the name of our actors? It hasn't done the credit roll right for the actors yet. Right?
Looks like it's not going to.
It might have the very no, they're not. They're like, no, we want you to think these are real people. They go on a Blair Witch on us.
I want you to think these are real people.
Oh, Willard Green.
Oh, here it comes.
Even the Silver Spears have kind of goofy like that. I don't know. Maybe there's a better name for that.
Caretaker.
Fortune teller's granddaughter. Fortune teller. Like
Maid. No.
Double lavender. Haha. I thought it was. Yes, they don't even get credited. What you're gonna use? Maybe they used child labor and they didn't want to get in trouble. Maybe those dwarves were just children under there and they didn't want to get in trouble, so they didn't list them.
Maybe.
That's
Well,
that's what happened.
We did it again.
We did something all right.
We have done it again, folks. Thank you for joining us on this beautiful, beautiful evening right before Halloween.
I know. Yeah, hopefully everybody's going in costume for something. Are you dressing up as anything, Thorin?
No, life's scary enough. So I think I'll just watch some really bad movies in my crate o'shate, and
we did dress up for our game this last week on
did.
Thursday. We did dress up in wizard robes and stuff.
It was a good time. I enjoyed it. I want to wear more robes more often, but life says otherwise.
Yeah.
Well, if you enjoyed this, please follow us at Appendix N Cinema on Twitter, and those are our handles there at the bottom. If you want to follow us personally, and we appreciate you guys watching the movie with us.
Yeah, and we will put up. We will be a little faster on the stats, I think, this time, getting this stuff uploaded.
Yeah, Bride of the Cyclops Con got in the way with that, I believe. There was a lot going on. But yeah, Beastmaster article should be up next week, and we'll be putting up the this one soon. So
speaking of the little people not getting credits, I just watched Under the Rainbow again. Sorry, I just had to throw it in there for no good reason.
All right, guys.
Thank you, everybody. Thanks so much.
We will see you next time on.
Go on our Twitter and suggest movies.
Yes, please do that. Yeah, we need suggestions. I mean, we've got ideas, but we want to hear what you guys want to watch. So until next time, thank you for watching Appendix N Cinema.